Hey, 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 family. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm going to share. Come on in on this Friday. Come on in. Let me continue to share. All right, we're going to get started shortly. Come on in. It is wet and rainy here. Well, it's dry now. Hey, Phoenicia. You like this afternoon? Yes, because I did not go live this morning. So I had to, like make up for it. So I am live now. Listen, on a Friday afternoon. I know y'all like, what? Y'all, I had to go live. There was a word the Lord put in my belly. And when I tell you, there was a little delay on me starting because yes, girl. I'm talking about we got soaked. I went to pick the girls up and we got absolutely soaked. I was like, oh my God. So, as I was getting ready to go live, I got a phone call. And it's so amazing how God does things because let me tell you something. When you begin to prophesy to yourself, my God, when you begin to prophesy to yourself, hey, Tandria, then God will move in your situation. All I knew was God said it's turning around for you, and I got a turnaround phone call. Look, let me tell you, y'all, you got to understand it's turning around. I don't care how badly it looks. I don't care how overwhelmed you may be by it. I don't care what it's looked like in the past. I don't care what it's been in the past. I need you to know it's turning around for you. And the beautiful thing is not only is it turning around for you, but we know that all things are working together for our good, even the stuff that looks bad. Remember what we said bad was blessed with blessings, right? Blessed with a blessing, anointed for advancement, and the D is what was it? Y'all help me, help me, help me. For destiny. The D, the D, the D, the D. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on, dedicated for destiny. So no matter what it looks like, you got to know that God is in control. So I got a message today from a friend of mine, and she was telling me to pray. One of my proteges, she was telling me to pray, and I told her it's already done. Y'all, I need you to understand it's already done. God's already done it. And even when it doesn't look like it, God is still working. Even when it doesn't feel like it, God is working. When it doesn't seem like it, God is working. God is always working behind the scenes in every situation in our life. When we got home today, and when I say drenched, y'all, we were drenched. We had to all just strip down. I put the girls in. You see, I got my giddy onesie on, right? Um, Even though we got drenched, there was a plan. See, we look at life and when we get drenched by the things of life, we find ourselves often frustrated. We find ourselves mad because now we're wet. Now the shoes wet, socks wet, legs wet, like head to toe. So wet, my hat was drenched. Okay, hair dripping water. Look, but God, but God. God had a plan even in that. If you can stand the rain. Listen, there was a song about it. It said, Can you stand the rain? Right? We want to talk about it raining down blessings. We want to talk about blessings on blessings on blessings. We want to talk about rain down on me. See what I'm saying? We want to talk about it, but can you endure it? Because if it rains down on you, you're going to get wet. If it rains down on you, it's going to get wet. You're going to be wet when it rains on you. So you got to understand that everything that is happening in your life is happening for a reason, on purpose, for purpose, in order to get you to a place. It's to get you somewhere. But we get so messed up on where we are right now that we won't allow the process to take us to where God is taking us. So we're looking at it and we're saying, but God, this is going on and this is going on and I feel like this and it looks like that. And God, it seems like it's never going to end. Know ye not that God allows things to get to certain places so that you can know that nobody but God did it. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. God will always reveal what needs to be revealed so that you can do what needs to be done. All I know is this. God has been strategically setting some things up. Strategically. What do I mean when I say that? God will put connections in place years before something is supposed to happen, so that when it is time for something to happen, the connections are already there. So here I am. Listen, y'all. Listen, this is nothing but God. Dealing with Head Start, Head Starters. Hey, Linda, how are you, beautiful? And the program had to shut down a certain number of classrooms because they didn't get enough funding, because they didn't have enough in kind. There were things that they needed in order to continue the process. They needed teachers. There are all these things that they needed, right? So God allowed me to have the girls so that I would be in the place so that I could share my expertise, my experience, my skills. He also is using it to connect me in the community. He had told me already, you got to get involved in the community. I was like, where and how? What you want me to do? Because I just really want to be in the house where it's dry. Did y'all catch that? I just want to be in the house where it's dry, right? But in order to reap all the blessings, you must get wet. So that means that I've got to go outside. Oh, here we go. I want to go outside in the rain. It may sound crazy. You see, all these songs that deal with rain, there is a natural meaning, but there's also spiritual application to them. We want the blessings, but we want to stay in the church building. We want the blessings, but we want to stay in our bubble. We want expansion, but we want to stay in our circle. We want to experience the glory of God, but we don't want to have to go through anything. You cannot get to where God is taking you without going outside, without getting wet, without dealing with people, without expanding your borders. The only way you can expand your borders is by expanding your comfort zone. You must come out of your comfort zone in order for God to be able to release unto you those things that he has stored up for you. Hey, Corey. You gotta get in position. In position is not in the house because it's dry. It's not in the building because it's safe and familiar. It's not in your circle because those are the people that you know. That's not where it is. It's stretching beyond where you've been, what you've done, who you've dealt with, and how you've dealt with them. That's where the blessings are. But we miss the blessing because we're too busy trying to dictate how it's going to go. Staying in our comfort zone. We want to stay focused on what we know and what we're familiar with and what's logical to us. We serve a God that requires us to do things that look illogical to the world. That's why the word of God says he will take the foolish things to confound the wise. Oh, ye who think you're so wise in your own mind, in your own eyesight. God is trying to do some things that is going to make you look foolish. It looks foolish at 58 to be the president of the parent program for a Head Start program for preschoolers. It looks foolish. I'm looking at these parents. These parents are my kids' ages. It looks foolish. But this is a season where God is pulling the seasoned out and placing them in strange places that they might be an example and share their wisdom with the generation we say we lost to save the generation that they produced. Hear me. Those who are seasoned, who've been through some stuff, are being placed in situations where they're dealing with things with this generation that we call the lost generation. And the truth of the matter is, if they're lost, we lost them. And so now it's time for us to get them back. It's time for us to get them back, to snatch them out of the hands of the enemy, because there's another generation, their children, that the enemy wants to take out. So it means that we're going to find ourselves stepping in, being a bridge to help them cross over and to save the children of the children. I know, y'all listen, y'all know, listen, I've always prided myself on being that parent that, you know, I love my kids. I'm going to support my kids, but I'm not raising my kids, right? That was my stance. I'm not raising my kids. Listen, you have babies, baby, I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you, but I'm not raising your kids, right? Well, the very thing I said I wasn't going to do, I'm doing. You understand? And there was no question for me whether or not I was going to do it. I just knew there was a need that I needed to fill. So we're either going to be caught up in what we said we're not going to do, or we're going to do what God needs us to do. Because everything that God allows has purpose. And the purpose is for God to be glorified, for him to get the glory out of it. God is moving us around. That's right. That's right, McGriff. That's right. And you have to. Y'all are a prime example of that, what you all have done for young people. How you all have opened up your home, opened up a home for those young people to help them succeed, to fill in the gap where their parents were not able to. There is a huge mental health crisis in America, and it's not accidental. It has been deliberately and strategically set in play, set in motion. And now we're dealing with some of the results of it. And so either we're going to open up our eyes and recognize that mental health challenges is real and begin to address them and not just say, oh, you just need to pray. Oh, you just need to pray. Oh, you just need to pray. You need to pray and you need to pray and it's not you just need to pray. You need to pray and here's some practical steps that you can take when you find yourself in crisis. I'm watching as our children deal with mental health challenges. And listen, a lot of it comes from the food that we have fed our children over time. The things that they've done to the food, you know, the things that they've injected in the food. And now we're seeing there's the chemicals that have been injected. There's genetics and history, right? Our genealogy and what's in the genes. There's all of this stuff that's coming together. And it's created a vortex of crisis, right? And this is the thing, though, you got to remember. As we pray and seek practical ways of addressing these things, the church has a decision to make. Either we're only going to focus on the spiritual well-being of people, or we're going to focus on the whole person, the totality of their being. That's all of the things about their life. You want to say that people aren't tithing, people aren't putting into the church, but it's because their finances are jacked up, flipped upside down. So we've got to begin to address the finances of the people. We've got to help people figure it out, get it together, add income, fix their credit. We've got to do prayer and practical steps and applications to shift the lives of the people of God. The season of just being concerned about how much they pray and having them in the church building every day is done. We're barely in buildings. Barely in buildings because the people's finances, the ministry's finances are jacked up. So it can't just be about the building. It's got to be about the people in the building because we are the body. We are the church. You got to deal with their families, their family relationships, breakdowns in communication. There's so much that people stand in need of. So we can't just go into the church house and just pray and sing and be like, preach a good word and be like, okay, now everything is fine. No, ministry does not stop at the end of that service. Ministry is just beginning when the service ends, because it's what happens when people walk out the doors of the church in their life. That's where they need us. As I celebrated 58, right, turning 58, and the Lord told me, listen, I want you to do these classes for $58. And honestly, y'all, if I can just be real, I said, okay, Lord, now listen, hold on. Not a single class that you're telling me to offer is under $100. And some of them are multiple hundreds. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what you doing. What you doing? And he said, listen, this is your seed into the lives of people. It's great for people to bless me. That's great. I would rather people bless themselves and their families and their lineage, right? By making a decision to add something to their life, to remove something from their life, right? To open up their mind to the possibilities of what God is going to do in them and through them. Angel number 77. That would be my preference. Because it's not about me. It's about you. It's about you and your family and what God is trying to do. So when he said it, I was like, okay, God, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I did the Quantum Leap class, but y'all know I haven't been on Facebook like I normally am. I had family crisis going on. I didn't really advertise it. So I had one person in the class, but I did the class nonetheless because that one person was valuable, right? Class was amazing. It was, and she got that one-on-one attention for $58. Listen, that could have been you that had that one-on-one attention. She had Dr. V all to herself for the 2-hour time frame for $58. Listen, baby, that was good stuff right there, right? But he said, run it again. So this Monday coming up, I'm going to do Quantum Leap again. And Quantum Leap is about you. It's about all the dimensions of your life. It's about figuring out where you have gaps and how you can fill those gaps, right? To prepare you for the leap that God is doing in your life, because it's been turning around for you, and it's turned around for you, and it's turning around for you, and it's turned around for you, and it's done, and it's complete. And so now the question is, are you ready for it? Or are you going to allow your saboteurs to interfere with your ability to move forward? We have decisions to make. You have to make choices. For those of you that have books in you that you've not yet written, the Billionaire Boss Book Writing Boot Camp, $58. It's a 6 weeks class. 6 weeks, 2 hours each week, 6 weeks. What? For $58? Are you kidding me? I'm not. And you can get the VIP at another 6 1-hour individual sessions on for $258. Afterpay available. Y'all, God has me on assignment to impact the lives of his people. Quantum Leap, Billionaire Boss Book Writing Boot Camp, and No More Sabotage. If you've not taken No More Sabotage, if you don't know what your saboteurs are or how to destroy them, you need to take it. $58. Are you kidding me? On the 20th and the 21st. Listen, I mean, hold on. Saturday and Sunday that's coming up. Not this Saturday and Sunday, the following one. Hold on, let me make sure that date is right. I want to make sure I give y'all the right date. I'm telling you, this is all about preparing you for what God desires to do in your life. We've got to do better. We've got to do better. The 21st and the 22nd. All you got to do is go to bit.ly/m/Dr. V Enterprises. All the courses are there. The Destiny Call is there. That's absolutely free, where we can have a conversation about what God is doing in your life, where he's taking you, whatever you want to talk about for that time period. It's 30 minutes, absolutely free. You want to take advantage of it. It's open. There's no age limit. Y'all, God is just doing some amazing things. And I want us to be prepared for what he's doing in every area of our lives. All of them. It's time. It's time for us to move forward. It's time for us to grow forward. It's time for us to propel forward. It's time for the leap to take place. Haven't you been trudging along long enough? It's time to get ready for the leap. It's time. Look, I'm going to get off here. I just wanted to come on and I just wanted to share what the Lord said. And in the midst of me preparing to do it, he blessed me for my obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So be obedient to the Spirit of God. If he tells you to take a class, take it. If he tells you don't. Whatever God says, obey that, right? All right, y'all, listen. Y'all know I love y'all. I love you. I pray that God continues to move in supernatural ways in your life. I declare and decree that everything that your hands touch prosper, that your mind is clear and unclouded, that the blood of Jesus is covering you and has made you whole and white and pure and righteous, because our righteousness is in his blood and not in our actions. but that his blood and that righteousness will show up in how we show up for people. Listen, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic weekend. Y'all be blessed. Mwah.